You know, Granny, you look great this morning, by the way. I love doing this every Thursday. I love chopping up college football with you guys, but it's not real enough. I need real interaction. I need real camaraderie. This isn't even a real tree. I don't need to be on a couch in Nashville, so I can either count on someone else to solve my issues or I can get to solving my own issues. So if you'll just hold on a second.
What's he doing?
What's going on here?
Here he is. Look how broad those shoulders are.
All right.
In the chest on this guy. Right?
You look great. You look great. How are we?
The upper body.
How are we?
Get in here. Hello, Pate. Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Friend of the show, Josh.
Sit.
Great to see you.
All right.
William, why not?
That was a good idea.
By the way, those were 4 for 4.
The shtick open work.
Yeah,
I
that
like
was
that a lot.
maybe.
Okay.
I couldn't hear.
Pate, sit. We got a million things to get to. Josh Pate, you know him, you love him. He's as good on this stuff as literally anybody. So, for those of you not paying close attention, let me show you the 12-team bracket as it currently stands entering championship weekend. Notre Dame is the 10th seed. That means they are currently the last team in. Alabama jumped them this weekend to go to 9. There are some who believe Bama's in the field even with a loss this weekend. The Tide obviously hoping it doesn't come to that. Let's start there. Josh, should Alabama be in, regardless of what happens Saturday against Georgia?
100%. You're talking about conference championship games, like the biggest talking point when that comes out of your mouth back to you on the street is, well, what do they even mean anymore? You can't have that. You can't have that if you're the Big Ten. You can't have that if you're the SEC. And so to maintain and solidify the value of those games, there's got to be maximum reward, not just for winning the game, but for playing in the game. If we even broach the conversation of, yeah, you lose this weekend, like you may be on the way out. It cuts the knees out from under the value of the game. There's no way they're dropping down.
Can I ask, what if Georgia wins, let's say 35-10, the same way they beat Texas, and Alabama kind of looks in a similar situation as like a Texas team does?
Then what?
I would look and I would say this is football. We score in 3s and 7s, firstly. So that can happen really quick. And secondly, Ole Miss sat at home. Oklahoma sat at home. A&M sat at home. I went and played because I earned the right. It's a reward. You don't get punished during enjoying a reward. That's what I would say back.
I happen to completely agree with that. Does anyone see it differently? Because there is a school of thought that, look, it's another game. It's another data point, which is a term that the committee loves to use. We are all in agreement. Alabama's got to be in no matter what.
Yeah, I think last week when the bracket came out where Alabama was sitting, it was like that, oh, hey, if they lose, something could possibly happen here. And then the committee made the right decision of bumping them up a little bit.
Yeah,
Unless they get absolutely demolished.
that's what I'm
think
saying,
yeah.
bro. If they get beat by 30 points, it's
But the
you sit there, you
likelihood of
want the
that.
12 best teams in the playoff. Like if they got boat raced, I'm sitting there thinking like, yeah, I understand why.
But what should also factor into this is that Bama played Georgia at Georgia earlier this season and won that game. The maximum Georgia can do is earn a split of the season series between these two.
Absolutely. And if Alabama were to lose this weekend, they will have ready in their holster the ammunition of, we were banged up. Now, it's disingenuous. It probably shouldn't work its way into the equation, but the committee does it all the time for other teams. So Bama could just sit there and say, hey, man, half of our roster's beat to death, too. We had to play in this game as a reward. You're not going to punish us because half our team's out.
And then I could see teams avoiding the SEC title game intentionally.
That's the point. And not just the SEC. It could happen in any conference. They did the right thing with SMU last year by not punishing them for losing in the conference championship. We can put the picks on the screen quickly because I want to get to the next one. The game means a lot and yet means almost nothing, as we just described. Dan is the only one who's on Bama. We'll see what happens. Now, I want you, Josh,
stand alone,
to explain sort of as concisely as you can what the BYU game means this weekend. They're playing Texas Tech for the conference championship in the Big 12. Texas Tech is in no matter what happens. What happens if BYU wins?
It's Notre Dame's worst nightmare. This game is huge in Provo, Utah, and South Bend, Indiana. We saw the committee drop Notre Dame behind Alabama the other night, which sort of crystallized, in my opinion, what we just said. Bama's not the one on the chopping block. Notre Dame potentially is if Brigham Young wins, because you're looking at a situation like you said. Texas Tech is not going to drop if they lose the Big 12. They've got unlimited equity built up because they earned it in the regular season. Brigham Young, as one of the highest 5-ranked conference champs, would have to be in. Therefore, someone's got to fall out. It's going to be the team on that 10 seed. And that is, as of Tuesday night, Notre Dame.
Which sucks because that's another situation for BYU. Say BYU lost close, like they're 11-1. If they lost close to Texas Tech, the only team they've lost to this season would be Texas Tech. Compared to Bama, they're in no matter what. These other multiple loss teams, it just shows it's like BYU is in a tough spot because if they play a close game, like They're what? They're just out of the playoffs?
They're going to be out. There's no way that they lose this game and jump Notre Dame.
Right.
I know, I'm with you. I'm just saying overall in the picture of college football playoff and everything
And
else.
but then it sets up the, some might say delicious, some might say disgraceful scenario in which if BYU loses, they're the only team standing between Notre Dame and Miami. If BYU loses and thus falls behind, let's just, for the purpose of this discussion, say falls behind Miami.
Yep.
You would have Notre Dame at 10-2, Miami at 10-2, abutting each other in the rankings. They played each other on the field this year, albeit at the first game of the season, and Miami beat them. In that scenario, which team should get in?
Miami should already be above them. They should unequivocally get in if there is any further debate on this, especially if you remove the peanut butter and jelly from between them and it's just those two pieces of bread right next to each other. There's so much overthinking of the room because the game happened so long ago. If the resumes are remotely comparable, this could be Notre Dame, Miami. This is a generic point I'm going to make. If resumes are remotely comparable, this is merit-based competitive sport that we're talking about here. You don't look at a head-to-head result and try and explain it away and put a bunch of graphics up on a screen. It's the head-to-head result. We don't have preseason, by the way, in college football. So for everyone who keeps telling me, oh, that game was so long ago, buddy, they count. That's the beauty of college football.
Dude, it was so long ago.
But they count.
But what's comparable about the rest of the resume? Like, if we're talking rest of the resume, you have to consider bad losses. Notre Dame has 0 bad losses. Miami has 2 in the heart of the season. They lost 2 out of 3 weeks to unranked teams in Louisville and SMU. And we're talking about week 1 of the season. There's no preseason in college football. We see the sloppy football in the NFL. The same thing. It's the same thing for college football. And if we're just going to hang our hat on, Miami beat them by 3 points at home against C.J. Carr as a freshman quarterback in his first career start. Miami has done nothing but get better the rest of the year. Messed it up.
So go farther down the road. Let's look at who they've played against also. They both played Pitt. Notre Dame goes and plays Pitt at Pitt, and they beat them. Very big statement win for Notre Dame where they go, that's the ticket. That's how they get into the playoff. And then Miami goes a few weeks later and does the same thing but wins by more points.
Notre Dame was sitting their cats in the second half. Miami's trying to run up the score.
If you're looking at well, also, according to the head coach of Pitt, the Notre Dame game did not matter at all. That game, he's like, we can lose by 110. We don't care about that one. We care about Miami. So the coach actually cared more about that game and lost by more.
Let me make sure I'm clear. Who are you arguing for?
I'm arguing for Miami. Thought I was very clear. Miami.
We got 2 Miamis and 1. We got
Notre
2
Dame.
Miamis and 1 Notre Dame.
You cannot put Notre Dame in ahead of Miami. In their own words. Do I think Notre Dame's the better team? I do.
Yep.
I do.
I agree.
But if you just look at the principles of the College Football Playoff Committee, and it comes to the how they go about it, number 1, strength of schedule. This is their words, not mine. Strength of schedule. Number 2 is head-to-head competition. So here's the thing. If you're the committee and you put Notre Dame in, you're telling America, we will just pick the teams that we want in and figure out a way to justify who we pick. And that's where you get into a slippery slope.
Pate.
One more thing that's happening here. I firmly believe that committee just decided based on eyeball test Notre Dame's the better team, which is okay if we're chopping it up over breakfast. I don't even care about my eyeball test. If you're comparable resume-wise and you've played already, I don't care about my eyeball test because
nothing else matters.
I've gotten picks wrong before. So I'm not infallible, nor is anyone on the committee. Get your eyeball test out of the way and go off your
Two Dookie losses.
Two Dookie losses, but it don't matter. On the biggest stage, Carson Beck, everyone said in the beginning of the year, is it Carson Beck that was the issue, Georgia, or was Georgia the issue for Carson Beck? And he went in front of all the lights. Everyone's so excited about college football, and he lit the world on fire.
I think Notre Dame's the better team.
Behind closed doors, he pooped his pants a little bit, but at the end of the day, hey, we've all done that.
I love Notre Dame. I think they're the better team. I think the quarterback's a better quarterback in Notre Dame than he is Miami. But you cannot say in your wordings head-to-head matters and then not have head-to-head
Listen,
matter.
and I know that this is not the topic of conversation, but I'd be kicking myself if I didn't get this out. All the things we're saying, this just means to me that Vanderbilt needs to be in over all these teams.
Let's just get play-ins. Let's just go play somewhere.
Yes.
So look, very quickly, because I have one other topic I want to get to with Josh here. This has always been a topic in college basketball. It's a new one in college football, but I've been having these arguments for 30 years. The idea that we're using the eye test to judge anything is ridiculous.
Insane.
It should be based on which teams are most deserving, not which teams someone thinks is best. What did you actually accomplish on the field? That should be what their job is, and that's who should be in the playoffs.
what you want.
Every other
Not
sport,
disagreed.
that's who gets into the playoffs. Well, then just put the Chiefs in this year, even though they don't win any games.
I'll never put the Chiefs in
the logo is great. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Penn State.
Strong team.
Penn State, their coaching search has turned into something of a, certainly online, has turned into something of an embarrassment. Their diehard fans are trying to defend it. Where do we stand right now? What is your take on what is happening in Penn State?
I think there are a couple of different searches happening up there. I mean, I think you've got Pat Kraft's search. I think you've got maybe Board of Trustees members that are kind of tired of what's happening. The names being circulated now are really incredible. You hear like a Brian Dable, maybe even a Jeff Hafley. I don't think they know where they are. Candidly, they've been wandering out in the back parking lot for quite a while when it comes to this search. When you fire James Franklin, it's okay if we don't know who's available. You've got to know or have about a 90% certainty of who's available to you, or you don't make a move on a guy who quite literally had you on the doorstep of the national championship game 8 calendar months before that. They kind of took the plane off and then said, we'll figure out the landing gear in the air. And they never figured it out.
Is there a chance where they know who they're going to hire?
No.
Because this is either a colossal disaster and one of the biggest of our generation when it comes to mistake, or they know and they just can't.
There's someone they're waiting on.
So that is the
way.
hope. No, that's the, like if you're logging on to maybe a Penn State message board, which I've lived on them the past few, I don't recommend it, but I've lived on them. They want to make themselves believe, hey, there's still a grand master plan here. There is no plan. This is Michael Scott in The Office when they're bankrupt. There is no plan.
It's that much of a disaster.
We're just trying to figure it out. Someone pull the ripcord and nothing comes out of the backpack.
Just to put things into context for Penn State, they fired their head coach. Their head coach found a new job, and in the last 2 weeks had a top 25 recruiting class by poaching Penn State's recruiting class, and now Penn State is in the hundreds. And after the hundreds, I stopped counting. Hundreds of recruiting class. And there's no way Penn State looks everybody in the eyes and goes,
Yep.
This is exactly what we planned. Just waiting on Matt Campbell.
So but hey, you beat Nebraska.
That is the question, is that where does it go? I feel like I need to say the name Kalen DeBoer here, because if you live on those message boards, and I don't, but it gets even to me, there are people out there who are wondering, is that what they have up their sleeve?
I've talked to several people that would know close to that situation, and it's laughed at every time I mention it.
Fair enough. So we don't expect that to happen.
No.
Okay. Josh Pate is here all morning long with us. We'll do much more with that as we continue. Pate, well done.
You want this, you got that. No way.